Test, test, test. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. This is Hayden Schimborski reporting to you live with BNN News Channel 9. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. This is Hayden Schimborski reporting to you live with WBNN News Channel 9 News. I will be joined by Jonas, Saich, and 2 members of the Lebanon news team.
Friday night high school football coming our way as we're getting ready for about an hour and a half or so, ready for Mount Juliet High School football against the Lebanon Blue Devils. It's homecoming out as well. Be sure to tune in early to see the homecoming ceremonies at around 6:30. We, of course, have 2 special guests, Ronan Briscoe and Zach Patton. They're from the Lebanon Video and Audio Production Club. Ronan, can you talk a little bit about the club and what you guys do?
Well, we cover a lot of things. We do the news for the school, of course. We do a lot of features around the school. We shoot games, and we just do stuff like that.
Awesome. And I know this is your first year going into this, so hopefully you get the groove early on and you'll start something just like ours at WBNN 9. Of course, Lebanon off to a pretty slow start. Have yet to win a game so far in 3 games. They've only scored a total of 13 points. Zach, what do you think the players and coaches are going into this week? What are they talking about?
I really think that we're just kind of at a point where they realize we really need to do something to turn around this season. I know this week at practice they've had some of the best practices we've had all season long and out of preseason. Also, I just think they're ready to win some games. They're ready to turn around something, and their attitudes have changed. The coaches' attitudes have changed, and I think tonight might produce some positive results.
Ready to win that game, first game?
I wish, but I don't know.
Of course, this is a huge game. It's currently tied. Of course, this is a huge game going on. The all-time record for Mount Juliet and Lebanon is tied 50-50. This is the 101st game between these 2 teams. And this is for bragging rights, it seems as though, because, next win is 51-50. You got the advantage. So how important is that for Lebanon to have that bragging right over Mount Juliet?
If we could pull it out, it'd definitely be a bragging rights. But I think tonight could go either way. And I mean, these 2 schools have a long line. rivalry and history against each other. So I think tonight could be anybody's game.
Anybody's game. And tell us, what are some superstars to be looking out for tonight from the Lebanon side?
You're going to want to be watching for Tyreek Cooper, who has 2 touchdowns himself. And, of course, you want to watch out for Brett Hutto, who had an interception last week. Very good on defense. One thing I would stress is that this is a triple option team. So you're not going to see a lot of throwing the ball. But when you do, it can be explosive.
Yeah, same for Mount Juliet. A lot of running. You see running backs like Marcelo Walton, Lawson Rich, and even quarterback Mason Earls. They all are explosive runners that really attack very well, and wins against Gallatin and Franklin County have proven that the run game is working very well.
So it seems as to know tonight we will have 2 similar offenses, and it'll be a defensive battle on the Mount Juliet side against Lebanon's defense and vice versa. Lebanon has a very good defense. Why don't you tell me some defensive players to look out for on the Lebanon side?
Definitely, you're going to have to watch out for number 22, Owen Pryor. He's one of our linebackers, and he is pretty good. We do have one of our another linebacker that's out. He's really good. He's sophomore. He is injured right now. He's on injury reserve. His name is X. That's basically about Xavier Mills, and he is injured right now. So that is hurting our defense right now. But I think maybe tonight we can bounce from that.
Of course, you said something about a long history. And that's absolutely true. Last year, Mount Juliet got the win, shut out Lebanon 35-0. Lebanon hasn't won against this team since 2008. So that's going to be a huge turnaround for Lebanon to finally get Mount Juliet in the win column for this season. How much stress do the coaches and players put on that game?
To be honest, I don't think they're thinking about that at all. I think they're more worried about, this singular game as opposed to what happened the last 8 years. That's true with most teams. But yeah, I think this one's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a battle in the trenches.
A battle in the trenches for sure, with both teams having a very strong running game and both teams having a strong defense as well.
Yeah, with Mount Juliet, they've only allowed 13 points a game. And teams like Cane Ridge and Ravenwood, Ravenwood, of course, defending state champions last year, and Cane Ridge with an explosive offense, still undefeated at 4-0, limiting them to only 27 and 12 points. The defense can hold their own. It's only a matter of what the offense can do and put points on the board.
Yeah, I think that's right. The Lebanon defense is going to have to bend but not break. What I see happening is Mount Juliet could get into Lebanon field position, and they could really make a shot at scoring. But the defensive line is going to have to hold up this entire game.
And we do play Ravenwood later on in the season, so that'll be a game to watch for if we can get things turned around.
Is that in Lebanon or at Ravenwood?
It will be at Ravenwood, so that adds to the
tough field.
Yeah, tough field to
play against. And of course, Lebanon and Mount Juliet, long history. Mount Juliet trying to start the season 3-2, and Lebanon looking for their first win. So that's going to be an important factor into how Lebanon plays and their passion.
Go ahead.
We are 0-3 right now. We did have a week 1 bye, so we are still looking for our first win. But I think our first win is glooming sometime. I mean, it should be coming anytime.
A problem that we've run into here at Mount Juliet is a weak special teams, or not a weak special teams, but a special teams that isn't as developed as a team as Mount Juliet or Wilson Central. Tell us about Lebanon special teams. How's you guys' kicking game?
We blocked the kick against McGavick. Special teams defense looks really good. We have a good kicker. If I remember correctly, he's the second highest scorer on our team. And I think we can punt the ball pretty well to put Mount Juliet into pretty bad field position.
And we do got some tricks up our sleeve on special teams. Our special team coach has did a decent job this year, making some good plays. Like he did say, our kicker is our second leading scorer right now, which we hope to change tonight, which that's not a very impressive stat. But definitely our special teams always plays a special place in the game. And I know y'all's kicker is pretty decent yourself.
Yeah, Jacob Bailey.
Yeah, you and I talked about that. And you really stressed the importance of keeping the offense behind, Lebanon territory, because that's Jacob Bailey's range, and that could be an easy 3 points. Anytime they get into the red zone, Jacob Bailey can really make those kicks.
Definitely so. I mean, he is a good kicker, and I believe you said top 40 in the country. So, I mean, he is a threat on the field. I mean, even though he's not out there much, he is a threat. So we'll have to keep their offense back, and hopefully our defense will be able to produce that tonight.
And let's talk more about this rivalry. So Lebanon and Mount Juliet and Lebanon dating back. This is the 101st game, and this will be the tiebreaker. I don't know if that's so much the focus for the Lebanon team as much as winning tonight, but I think it is a focus. And what do you guys think will be taken in your school building? Do you think there will be bragging rights in the school after this?
It will definitely, if we win, it'll be bragging rights. But honestly, there's not been a lot of emphasis put around that stat because it's the history. It's already been made. You got to look forward, or you're going. If you keep looking back, you're going to miss going forward. So we're looking towards the future right now, and
For sure.
I mean, it's just not a stat we're really worrying about right now.
It's exactly what a football team has to be looking at, not the past, but what's going on right now. And I think that's the strategy that Lebanon has to have and the mindset going into this game. Because, if you talk about the past, 8 consecutive years without winning, these seniors and the seniors before and many on have not seen Lebanon come out victorious in this matchup. And you can't think about that. You just have to think about what's going on now.
Exactly. It's one game at a time from here on out for Lebanon. Really just looking for that first win this season.
So let's talk about last season's playoffs. You guys put up a good fight. It was, I believe, 14-49.
Something around there. I know it was first round.
So how many starters do you have coming back off that loss and that are ready for this first win and starting to get a little bit of that revenge?
Well, we really lost quite a few seniors last year, but we've also got a big junior class that came up last year, now seniors, and I think it's probably almost a 20. And I think, like I said, they're really fired up for this game, and I think they're not going to let last season determine this season. I think we can turn it around.
And Mount Juliet also having the same thing with a ton of juniors becoming seniors. The experience is the biggest asset for this team. The whole offensive line is at least seniors and maybe a junior. So that's a huge group of, experienced veterans that can help the team, and become leaders and really strive towards that one goal of getting really far in the 6A playoffs.
In our future, it is looking bright. Our JV got a big win over Westmoreland. We shut them out. Then our freshman team got a big win at Wilson Central last night over Wilson Central, beating them 21-20. And I think in the next few years, Lebanon will be better than we are now, and we will be a team that will be a threat towards the rest of the teams in the league right now.
So you definitely think that'll translate to the new starters of next year and years after?
Definitely. I think we might shift our focus towards our younger kids right now. We got a good-sized sophomore and a big-sized freshman class coming up, and our focus very well might shift if Coach Harp isn't here next year. It might shift towards our younger class. So I think that could translate to positive results.
I think that would be the right approach.
Yeah. Future is looking bright for Lebanon. Thank you guys once again. This is Zach Patton, Ronan Briscoe from the Lebanon Audio and Visual Production Club. About an hour away from game time. We'll get back to you minutes before the action starts. Mount Juliet Golden Bears going against Lebanon Blue Devils. Guys, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank
You
you
guys. We appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll be back right before the game. course. Thank you so